Hey, my name's David. Welcome to Hoppy Hour. Let's slam some beers, buddy. Let's go.
What's up, Dave?
Hoppy Hour Podcast. Brother.
Oh my God, it's such a pleasure. We're finally doing it.
Anything for you, Army Dave.
It's official.
You know that.
It's official. You know what's funny? For the longest time, I was like, what do I call myself? Should I introduce myself as Dave or Army Dave?
Army Dave.
Because I'm gonna be doing this at a lot of different fucking places. So I don't know if in Palm Beach, when I go home, people don't know me as Army Dave.
Well, they should, bro. I mean, you're giving to your country. Let everybody know.
Everybody's like, what the fuck is an Army Dave? So anyways, Hoppy Hour Podcast.
Is this your first one?
First official one, brother. This is my favorite watering hole.
I know that.
I chose this one because this is the one and only bar that I haven't been kicked out of in Beacon.
That's a very true statement. Ironically, too.
It's so fucking true, it sucks. So, but I have kicked some people out of here, though.
That is very
You know
true
what I
as
mean?
well. That's why you got a special pass here. But you've never actually needed to be thrown out of here.
Right.
The other places, it seems that were justified from what I
I'm
understand.
gonna ask you about it. I'm gonna ask you about a certain fucking Army Dave sighting group chat here a little bit later. But hey, dude, talk to me about the bar, Draught. Talk to me
Yeah,
about
so Draught has been here. So I bought the bar, it'll be 6 years in December. It was here for about 2 years before me. I bought it, it had the name Draught Industries. I wanted to name it my own name.
Wait. So it was already established. You
Yeah.
just bought it.
Yeah, it was a turnkey.
Oh, shut the front
Turnkey
door.
operation. I went to change the name and we got a quote to remove the Draught logo off of the brick.
Is that why it says V2?
And that was, the quote
never
came
knew
back
that.
like thousands of dollars because the brick is porous, so the paint is tough to get all the paint out. So then I was like, I'm not spending that. I didn't have any money at that point. So we just put a little version 2 and that's what we got.
That's fucking hilarious, bro. So this used to be an alleyway, and like I remember I got fucked up one time, and then I was talking to some old dude, and he goes like, "Dude, we're in high school. We used to get blown in the valley back that way." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What the fuck? This was an alleyway?"
Dude, it was an alleyway for most of its existence. Actually, during the Depression, people couldn't afford to pay for funerals, wake services, anything like that. So they used this alleyway. They tarped both ends, and they did mass embalmings here.
They would do what?
Yeah, for just traditional graves when people couldn't afford to get buried. So,
This shit's haunted.
I mean, I haven't heard anything. There's sometimes you hear a couple things, but you don't know if that's the beer talking or, just losing my mind naturally. But so yeah, it was an alleyway, and then I think the first place that converted it was like a hair salon, which kind of makes sense. Narrow.
This was a hair salon?
Yeah, I think it was called Fatima's.
What?
Fatima's Hair Salon and Hair Braiding, I think.
All right. I never fucking knew that, dude. Like,
Yeah.
when he walked in, I was like, "Look, check it out. It's an alleyway. I
Yeah.
love it. This is my local watering hole. It's so narrow."
Yeah, it's tiny. I mean, these are external brick walls.
So
just
there's
roofed
one
it.
thing about Draught that fucking separates you from other craft beer places, and I did some research on this, believe it or not. Yes, I do research. Your flux capacitor.
Yes.
Did you know that there's only like 12 of them, and the
Yeah.
dude stopped making them?
Yeah, so there's actually, so he owns a bunch. So the name of the brewery is Beechwood Barbecue. He's got a bunch of barbecue spots and a brewery with that name.
Right.
He created, from what I understand, there's only 7 outside of the ones he owns because he's got them at his places.
Yeah.
6 or 7. So I bought the bar, it was here. This is the reason why I bought the bar, was the flux capacitor.
I thought you bought it.
No. At that point, he wasn't making them anymore.
By the way,
So,
for those folks listening in, so the flux capacitor gives you the right carbonation with the right temperature for each individual beer.
yes, it's a gas blend, so we get to mix the nitrogen gases in with it and make certain ratios per style.
Yeah. And I learned that, and I didn't know that. Like, I've always heard that if you like go overseas, like people drink like fucking warm ass beers, and I'm like, nah, that's not for me, bro. You know
that's
what I mean?
true. Yeah, a lot of beers in Germany aren't
He's
ice cold.
drinking warm ass beer right now.
Yeah, well, I don't have a problem with room temperature beer. That's the way it's supposed to be drank. Yeah, no, the Flux is definitely something legit. Forbes wrote an article on it.
And that's an article I read, dude.
Yeah, it's a big article.
His name's like Gabe something.
Yep.
Gabe something, yeah.
I never got to meet him. I'm just fortunate enough to have it. We take very good care of it.
Who the fuck bought it?
It was the previous owner, Nick. He owns Dutchess Beer Cafe. And he wanted to make Dutchess Beer Cafe a little bigger, and I guess he didn't have the time. So
shout out to fucking Dutchess because they have some fucking bomb ass food.
Oh, dude, yeah, that place is awesome. He's opening another spot in Fishkill too, which is going to be just as good.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so that's what caught my eye, and the narrowness of the bar, which is what I love. So nice and tiny.
Dude, how do you select your beers though? I've always wondered that because like I walk in here and like, again, it's my fucking favorite watering hole. So like when I walk in here, I just like, John, what do you got for me? Right? He always just, or either it's you or Hannah or whoever it is. What do you have for me? And they just give me a fucking beer. I have no idea what I'm drinking half the time. I just know it's an IPA of some sort.
Right.
But they know my palate.
Yeah, and never once we give you a beer you don't like.
Right.
So that's a good question. A lot of the beers we cannot taste beforehand. If they're not local, there's no way I can possibly taste it. They don't give samples out. So we look at, first of all, social media. I started out as a consumer in this industry long time ago. There's a brewery in Brooklyn named Other Half, quite arguably probably one of the best breweries in the country. In my opinion, it definitely is.
I know you go there a lot.
They're your
boys, though, right?
It's the beer that they've always been making. It's always been so great. And so we got in early with them as consumers. And then when I opened the bar, I wound up utilizing some of my relationships with these people to harness other relationships with other breweries, like put in a good word for me with this guy, or if they had an event where they had the brewery coming to their location pouring beers, I would get to meet them. So they Other Half paved the way for me in a lot of different ways in terms of me getting a lot of the beers that we get.
You always talk highly of them. I always see you wearing the shirts.
Yeah, it started from them. That's where everything started.
Am I wrong or right? You guys had like a combination of beer. I remember you guys had actual Draught Industries beer in combination with like 2 or 3 other breweries.
We haven't made one with Other Half. We still want to do that, but we have made it with a bunch of other.
You heard it here first. Other Half.
They know it. They know
Pay
it.
attention.
We've made them with a bunch of other breweries, but they were the starting point. We got all of our education drinking all those early beers with them. They wound up becoming a powerhouse. They're opened up in DC now. They are in the Finger Lakes. Yes,
I thought it was like a New York thing.
No, they're tremendous, man. They're absolutely tremendous. So we see what they did, who they brew with. We know whoever they're brewing with in collaborations. Even if I've never tasted the beer, you know automatically that brewery is legit because they're collabing with what we call the godfather of the craft beer industry on the East. That's the Other Half.
The Other Half is the godfather. Huh?
That's the East Coast, I would say, yeah, for sure. There's always an East-West Coast battle, just like Biggie and Tupac. This is with beer, though, and it still exists.
No, I'm going to battle you. Well, not battle you, because you obviously know more than I fucking do. But I went to Treehouse,
yes,
which I know you just went to.
Yes, I was there 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, dude.
Yep.
And you had pallets of this shit, dude.
Yeah,
I was like,
those are all. That's for personal use, though. We can't sell them at the bars. So that was a trip. We were going to the beach.
Yeah.
Me and my brother-in-law.
Yeah, it was like some wedding or some shit like that.
Yeah, but the problem is that once somebody, like I tag on Instagram, like the face of the brewery, then what happens is, like as we pull in, as soon as I post it on Instagram, I'll get my brother and like close friends just texting me their order number. So they place an order, and then I just bring it home to them. So that's why it looked like there were so many cases. Only 3 were for me.
Yo, I got made fun of so fucking bad because like everybody, like Dale gets a case, my buddy Steve gets a case, Frank gets a case, my roommate, and then like I'm like, they fucked up my order somehow. I love you, Treehouse. Don't take this the wrong way. But I got a half a case, and you're like, what the fuck, you little bitch? I was like, what do you mean?
You drive all the way out there, bro. You better be getting more beers than a half a case.
There was one beer that was not delicious. Like I was just talking to that lady over there. I was mind blown. Every single beer that I had was crazy. crazy good.
It's just sometimes the different palates, hit your palate. Like the different hops will hit your palate differently. Like there's certain hops like I hate, like Idaho 7. It could be made from the best brewer in the entire world, and I'm not gonna like the beer. It just doesn't sit well in my palate. It's just like not liking a certain style of food.
What is Greg's palate? Let's hear it.
To be honest with you, hop-wise, I love Nelson. I love anything from New Zealand, Australia, Galaxy. The Citra hop is, of course, reigns supreme in the United States, is probably the most prevalent used hop in most of these beers. But I just like the earthier style stuff where you can kind of taste more of like the ground, if you would.
So, yeah. I mean, you always hear me say, like, I want West Coast CIP.
Yeah, you like West Coast, but that's good. That's a bitter
Super
style.
bitter.
You're drinking one right now.
But
You're drinking a beer that probably no one else has outside of the brewery.
Draught does. Draught Industry does, by the way.
Fidens is definitely, that is that's a prized relationship that we have.
Trust me, I just drug all these beers in here yesterday. I was like, ugh.
They're all so good. They never miss. It's an honor to be able to have their beer because they do very well in-house and they do not really distribute to bars. There's maybe a handful of bars in the entire state, maybe 10 right now total in the entire New York state that maybe have their beer on tap, maybe a little bit more, but it's an honor to be close with them and for them to have confidence in us selling their beer. So.
You told me something yesterday. You're like, there's nobody else that has. What was it?
We just brought back a bunch of cases. So there's usually not when they're giving out beers to most of the bars in the city and stuff. Most of it's kegs, but we do well with obviously the kegs, but also their cans. And so we're like a halfway point from the city to them. So we'll bring back a bunch of cases, and it just saves people the trip up all the way to their location. Colony, New York.
Where the fuck is that, bro?
Pretty much Albany.
Ah, okay.
Albany,
So
Troy area. Yeah.
there.
But they, in my opinion, they're making some of the best beer, if not the best beer, right now in the entire Northeast and possibly the U.S.
If there's something that I realized, brother, is that you have such a great working relationship with so many breweries that are around the area. Like, not even in the area, because you travel a lot, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen you and John fucking humping it with your van, or whether it be the Jeep or whatever, and you're just fucking
Dude, COVID was
lugging-
crazy, man.
I wanted to talk about that, brother, because I think that you guys did a fucking amazing job through COVID. Because, like, dude, like, I got here in 2018. I got stationed here, and like, this is my favorite watering hole. Like, I love going to Beacon. This is the only thing that I knew. Like, I've gone to the city like 4 or 5 times, maybe. And you guys were doing like to-go stuff and like just making it work, and it was amazing. Like, you guys, I think you guys did a fucking great
We
job.
pivoted well. Yeah, that was a scary time, but we figured out a way to harness, again, our relationships where we were able to, so nobody wanted a keg beer. So you could buy cans, and they would let you go pick up cans, even from places that wouldn't normally sell to you directly. But we wanted draft as well, because you can't make, the profit margin on cans are very, very minimal. And we have a crowler machine,
I have
can't
zero
run
idea
beers.
how that works.
Yeah, the cans you're not making much money on cans. The brewery is, but not selling it at a bar level. We're not getting it that much cheaper. So all of our money comes from the draft list. So these relationships that we had, although they were canning beers, they would break us off kegs. So the kegs I was getting, those are all kegs from personal relationships. There wasn't any real distribution going on. We would have had no beer on tap if it wasn't for those relationships. And so we were fortunate enough to have them and utilize them, and it wound up working out well for both, because the breweries obviously needed help as well. They couldn't open their doors to customers, couldn't sell as many beers in-house, so they started to rely on shipping, which eventually I think did them very well and started to take off. But it took a while to get acclimated to all that. So
It did, dude.
we serve as a substation for a lot of the New York State breweries.
Did, dude.
Yeah, we did.
I totally feel like that was the
we
way,
did.
bro. Because like
We did.
there would be lines out here. There'd be lines out here.
We sold through everything. Nothing was wasted, man. I mean, we must have sold through hundreds and hundreds of cases, and not a single beer went bad. Meaning, like, we won't be selling beers if they're. We'll have no problem selling something under 60 days. Even that gets me a little iffy sometimes in cans. They like to get rid of them before the 4th or 5th week of their born on date. But we we didn't have to waste anything. So we were bringing in just the right amount, the right styles for people to pick up fresh, and it was great. It was a lot of work though, back and forth in the van and then lugging them down those stupid fucking stairs. It's fucking terrible.
I almost died though yesterday going down those fucking stairs.
Those stairs are not fucking safe.
I wanted to talk about your food, bro. Miguel's Kitchen.
Yeah.
God damn, bro. Not many people know.
No.
Not many people like. You don't just say to yourself, "I'm gonna go to Draught for dinner."
No, you're not gonna.
I fucking do.
You're not gonna look at this place walking by and be like, "Oh, I bet you they have the best Mexican food in the world."
Dude.
No one's gonna think that.
Unbelievable.
And it's funny because I could sound
fucking
cocky and say that it's the best Mexican food in the world, and it is. But I can sound
Brother,
cocky
it is,
because
bro.
it's not mine. I've subbed out the kitchen to him for 5 years now, so he's like a partner in a way. He runs the kitchen. He makes every penny of his food sales. He pays me rent. And that's it. It's a sweet deal for him. It was, for me, the headache of dealing with the kitchen, living an hour away, my wife having a restaurant. It was.
That's right. Your wife has a restaurant. I've been there before. I went there with my ex.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You hit me up.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was too much to handle. So we found him.
Your sister-in-law just walks with a fucking house phone. It was a house phone.
Yeah, they carry that shit
I was
everywhere.
having dinner and she walks up to me. She goes like, "Excuse me, this is for you." I was like. What the
like
fuck?
Army Dave
I was
there.
like, that's correct for sure. It's a house phone, bro.
Yeah.
Who the fuck has a house phone?
It is a house. I mean,
it is a house. Yeah.
That place has been there. I think they're on their 37th year. Louis on the Avenue.
What's your wife's restaurant?
It's called Louis on the
restaurant?
Avenue. 37th year. No, it's hers. I mean, that's her dad started that thing from scratch. But yeah, so it was a lot. It was way too much to. It was a lot to deal with the kitchen. So what we did was we subbed it out, and it wound up. The relationship worked out amazing because Miguel is such a hard worker. So there was never an issue about him not showing up. He worked 7 days a week. It was insane. And then COVID happened, and he wanted to. He's a very skilled chef. He can cook any type of cuisine, French, you name it.
Delicious,
And he is Mexican, so he did not want to make Mexican food. But we had tacos on the menu, and they were our number one sellers. So I told him during COVID that it would be cool to have like an identity in our kitchen as opposed to just being like American cuisine. And so we started to go all Mexican from traditional recipes dating back over 100 years from his family members, you name it. And it took off. It's still taking off. It's still, he's got an incline every single month of growth for the last 2 years, which is unheard of. And he just opened up his first solo spot in
what is it called?
Newburgh. El Gran Toro.
Where's it at?
It's on, I think it's 118 Broadway. So right on the big strip of Newburgh.
No shit.
Couple blocks over from Liberty.
Joe's or fucking Hudson. What's that fucking place called? The taco place? Hudson Taco or whatever?
Yeah.
On that strip?
Well, he's on more like the Main Street strip. You know,
like the Main Street strip.
You know where Liberty Street is? He's like 2 blocks up.
Yeah, try to stay away from that. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love that place. Yeah.
So he brought an element to this place that has changed us for the better. Super grateful for his relationship. We look to one day open a joint spot together where we're 50-50 in every aspect of it.
I want to say something because you said us. If there's something that I fucking have realized in the 4 years that I've been stationed here almost, you don't lose. You always have. It's always just been the same
I know what you're
staff.
gonna say. Yeah.
They don't change.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking awesome to work here.
It's fun.
And I love it. And you've always had the same staff. People that you could depend on. John.
Yeah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Troy.
Yeah,
like, all these people.
they're great people. They've been here, so they've all been here 5 years about. Out of the 6 years. John's been here a full 6.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
In my profession, I guess you would say, right?
What is that, by the way? Just so I'm aware.
All right, I'm in the Army. That's the But it's a direct reflection of your leadership, brother.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Honestly.
No, I know.
Dude, I don't know how to describe it, but you can't, like, the people that work for you are a direct reflection of your leadership, and like, there's no wonder why you don't have any turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen minimal, at best, turnaround in your staff.
Yeah.
It's always been the same.
It's the same. It's, you know what? So they get paid well. They do very well in tips here. So the special part about this place is that it's small enough where you can handle it with one bartender. Yes, there are times, Saturdays you need to, but other than that, there are times where it gets a little hairy. But if I were to put another bartender on, it's not going to cost me anything. Paying them hourly is nothing. It's not nothing. I'm never going to complain about that.
I heard you got Victor. I heard you start drinking Victor. I got jealous, brother.
Yeah, Victor.
I was like, "Fuck, dude, put up your name there, bro."
Victor did a great job, bro.
Did he?
He did a great fucking job. Dead serious. Even Hannah was like, "I could work with this guy a lot." Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just they do well because it's small enough where they're not splitting their tips with anybody.
That's good.
And on
That's good.
Saturdays, Saturday's the only day that can constitute 2 full bartenders, and they'll both walk with decent money. But Saturdays, I'm here all the time anyway, so I'm not going crazy. John does most of the work. I just let him. He keeps 100% of the tips. And so everyone's, Hannah's paid differently. Hannah gets paid more than everybody else. She runs the bar.
Hey, old grumpy John, you didn't just hear that, so.
Oh no, he knows. He knows. I actually took away $1 from him to give it to Hannah.
Ah, hell yeah, get some, dude.
Well, that's. He did offer it.
It's all going to the same household, ladies and gentlemen.
He's getting it back. He's getting it back next quarter anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so thanks, man. I appreciate that. We're a family here. I mean, I treat everybody like I would want to be treated, and we don't have any issues. We all work really well together. If there's ever a big issue and somebody needs off, it's like a elongated time period. We find a way to make it work. It's it.
It is.
We all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses, but we work well together.
When I first moved here, I was like, where the fuck is a goddamn New Windsor, New York? That's where I'm stationed, right? Stewart.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? And I decided to move to Beacon. I immediately...
That was the smartest thing you did, though. Probably one of the smartest things in your life.
Related with coming here. I just loved it so much because of the people. And, I realized that, the community is a big part of Draft, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly. And so, I've met so many people through this fucking bar.
Oh, yeah.
That it's not even funny. You know what I mean? So it's it's kind of ridiculous, bro. I'll be walking up and down the street and
It's fun. We capture a lot of the local traffic, which is really cool about Beacon, because Beacon it's funny, Beacon's a destination town. There's really not a tremendous amount of locals.
I just found that out. I met a couple last night. They were from Philly. A lot of people from Philly.
Yeah. Philly, New York City. I mean, 65% of our revenue is not from local zip codes. They're from New York City zip codes or far.
Brother, do you remember? It was during COVID, everybody was wearing masks or whatever.
Yeah.
And my boy that I went to high school with, Tim
that's
Hampton.
right.
He goes I think I know that dude.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
that.
Yeah. He goes, is that guy named Dave? I was like, yeah. The Army Dave. He goes,
You know
no
Army Dave?
way.
Yeah.
He goes,
dude,
no.
I went to high school with him.
Yeah, I remember that.
I love that.
Actually,
guy.
I remember that.
I love you, dude. No, but he's like, I know that dude. And so he walked up with a mask. I had no idea who he was. And I asked him, he's like, I'm from Philly. And I've met so many people that are from Philadelphia here, dude. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I don't know. It's funny because it's very accurate. I don't know if it has something to do with the train lines or just makes it easy. Maybe the next biggest city closest to us outside of New York
Is it a
City.
train line?
I'm sure you could transfer it, right? You could take the Philly line to New York City and then transfer from New York City to Beacon. So, because a lot of people they're traveling and they're not necessarily driving. But it is a weird anomaly because I've never really asked. I should start asking why are you in Beacon from Philly? As opposed
You
to
gonna
why
start doing surveys?
Yeah,
I've always done
it.
Why'd you come here, motherfucker?
I like to know who we're working with, man. This way, you can put together correlations. A couple people suck from Philly, and you're like, wow, I think Philly people suck, maybe. No, they're great. They're a big customer base of ours now. New York City's number one, though.
Hey, get $1 off your tab if you fucking scan this QR code and do your survey.
We did that. We did that a bunch of times. We did at DIA, the art museum. We did that, but then I realized we don't need to do any coupons or discounts or anything. It is what it is. Inflation's so fucking high anyway. That's
That's another thing I love about Draft is fucking it's affordable.
Yeah, we try. That is the benefit right there of the small place. That's the benefit.
I know how much work you do on the background that a lot of people don't get.
Right, like my wife.
Oh my God! He used to be underneath the table.
What are you doing? Nothing again today?
Oh my
I'm
God!
I'm working, babe. She's like, you're going to Albany to buy beer. I go, it's fucking work.
You're burying yourself. You're burying yourself right now, brother.
She's the best. 18 years together. She ain't going anywhere. I ain't going anywhere.
Holy shit! R.I.P. Greg. Oh my God!
It's the truth, though. There's a lot on the back end, especially with all these breweries, man. You got to really, I hate Instagram. Personally, I don't have a personal Instagram account that I use. I just use Drafts, but it's always for beer, and it's a lot. It's just so many breweries. I think there's going to be. They said like, I think 9,000 breweries soon, which they expect the plateau to happen next year in the country.
Ever heard John talking about that, right? It's a brewery boom. Or no, John Anthony. John Anthony was talking about that. And I was like, is that true though, dude? Like,
it is. So this is what happened. Pre-Prohibition, right? Everyone knows Prohibition. There was a brewery at every town. And they catered to the locals. And that was it. You know, hey, you went here, you ate there, you drank some beer, took some of their beer home. That was it. No, let's sell beer here, none of that. And then after Prohibition, the big beer companies started to gobble up all these little guys. And they gobbled them all up to the point where there wasn't a brewery in every town. There was hardly any breweries in any town. They were like a myth. They just went to the big conglomerate guys that were doing massive productions. And now we're going back that route where it's like there's a brewery in every town. And that's the way it should be.
Literally, yes. But, like, within Beacon, how many breweries do you think there are? Well, I can count 3 right now.
There are 3.
3, right?
Yep, there is Hudson Valley, Industrial Arts, and then a smaller brewery called Two Way.
I love that place, by the way. They're the only place with darts.
Are they?
Well, Joe used to have darts. But
Yeah.
Joe, you know, R.I.P. Joe, love you forever. But Joe used to have darts. But they're the only place with darts in Beacon.
Didn't you get thrown out of the window or throw somebody out of his window?
All right, we're not going to talk about that. I guess that's the perfect time to talk about this, Greg. So, no, my roommate was here. I was like, yo, Greg had told me like a year ago or like a couple months back, like you had told me a couple months back, like about the owners or whatever, and then like my roommate came here when I was in Atlantic City, and he goes like, brother, did you know that there's a fucking Army Day group chat that all the owners are like, yo,
yeah, fuck Army Day.
Yeah, no. They're like, he's walking wherever.
Oh yeah, so you know what kind of problem you have coming to you.
Dude, somebody paid $200 to another owner to fucking not give me fucking shots, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, I don't do shots, bro.
We never had a problem with you.
So you're just losing money.
I think you always just had a lot of respect for this place and didn't care, and you always protected it too, which is really, really cool of you.
I always do, man, because well, you gotta respect home, bro. And this is my home. I don't have to call anybody. Like if I'm off and I'm able to relax, right? Because you know I'm always gone. I'm always doing some fucking crazy shit. And you're like, where the fuck is he?
Oh yeah, sometimes you disappear for a while. I have to hit you up. I'm like, did you move back to Florida or some shit, bro?
yeah. They just show up and you're like, what the fuck? No, but I don't have to call anybody. I show up. I will know somebody here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even if I don't know anybody here, I'll just talk to the bartenders. I know you guys. Like, you guys are my friends.
But you're right, though. You are going to know somebody here. Whether it's a customer, the bartender, you're automatically going to know. There's only fucking 3 of us, so it's the same 3 people all the time. It's a blessing and a curse at the same fucking time.
I feel bad if you have Grumpy Joe.
Grumpy John?
Grumpy John. Joanna.
He hasn't been that grumpy lately.
You introduced me to J-Bo. Fucking Joanna, dude.
Oh, where's she been?
She's down in Fort Walton Beach. She's doing big things.
Smart girl.
Are you? And
she's missing the good beer though, that's for sure.
She is missing the good beer. No, but it's so funny because like we'd always make fun of a certain bartender that I'm not gonna talk about because they'd freak out and be like, yo, chill the fuck out. We're good. I'll start working. You've seen me work behind this bar, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a non-paid employee.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of those.
Yeah.
That's why we excel.
You do have a lot of those, man.
Our payroll's low, you know what I mean? Keep it low.
No, but it's awesome, brother. Dude, let's wrap this up and drink some beer, man. Dude, give a shout out to your website, your Instagram, all that bullshit.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's Draught Industries. So the first thing I just want to address is that it's draft. It's not fucking drought. Drought is spelled with a goddamn O.
I can't believe he
no
said it, ladies and gentlemen.
O.
I can't believe he said
It's
it, ladies and
Draught
gentlemen.
Industries.
We've had this argument so many.
Actually, when I
times.
bought the bar, I thought it was drought too. So I can't say anything. However, it is draft. It's proper spelling. It's Draught. But Draught Industries, website, email, everything is just Draught Industries. Facebook, you name it. Giraffe Porn on Twitter.
I'm sorry?
Giraffe Porn. It's a good one, right? I like it. I like it.
I ain't gonna ask.
I like it.
Brother, I love you.
I'm very honored to be your first,
Thank
Steve.
you for being for
Popping
my
cherry.
cherry.
Sick.
I love you so much, brother.
Love you, man.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen.
Perfect. This is Army Dave. I'm Army Dave. I'm your host. A little about myself. X-Man. I'm from here.
All right. Let's rock and roll. You ready? 1, 2, 3, down, up. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to Hoppy Hour. My name's David. It's a fucking pleasure to have you. Let's fucking slam some beers. Go. My name's David. Welcome to Hoppy Hour.
Just be like, hey, I'm Army Dave. Welcome to Hoppy Hour. This is our very first podcast, and we're gonna have many, many more to come. And we want to drink together. Let's drink together. Grab a beer, sit down, hear me talk some nonsense. Hear my guests talk even more fucking nonsense. And wrap it up.
I'm the one that talks nonsense.
Come on, Joe Rogan. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Hey, my name's Army Dave.
Wait, hold on. So, 3, 2, 1.
Name's Army Dave. Welcome to Hoppy Hour. Let's fucking drink.
That's it.